Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had this problem, but I've definitely had the problem of like even giving away work for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
people know that it's not necessarily free because there's time that goes into it, there's effort that
Yep.
goes into it, and they're not sure if it's even something that they want to do or whatever, right? But you have all the affordability to be your own case study. And if you're going to have
100%.
an offer and it's related to content, there's no reason that you, as a video business owner, shouldn't be putting yourself through that same offer.
Right.
If you want them to do it, you need to be willing to go through that sludge as well. Right.
100%.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel here. For those out there who do not know who I am, my name is Evan Andrews, and if you have been maybe following me for a little while, you know that I am your favorite video business coach and video content creator for you business owners out there. Today, I am sitting down with another one of my colleagues, Graham. Graham, it's good to have you. We've done one of these before. It's been a little while, but I'm really glad that you decided to hop on with me again and kind of go through it, man. How you been?
Great, Evan. It's awesome to connect on here again. I love hopping on and kind of catching up and sharing what's going on, especially in the world of video content, video business owners. It's an ever-changing landscape out there for
Oh, for
sure.
sure. I know, because obviously we stay in contact a lot. I know a lot of things change for you. I don't know if it's frequently, but I know that you definitely go through those changes. What have you been up to lately?
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm focusing more on personally, I'm building out more of a community that's kind of like on the side. But like one of the main things that I've really been working on dialing in is just offers. Like I can't remember who says it. It might have been Russell Brunson who says it. I'm gonna misquote this, but he's like the person who wins is the person who gives the most offers. And so really dialing in what I offer, and it's a lot different than what it was this time last year.
Sure.
Uh,
No, I
so
definitely know how that goes. It always seemingly changes, not necessarily because we feel like the other thing's not working. It's just we're trying to always make it better, right?
yeah, and the to help more people too,
Yeah.
because like you can put that like how can you package what you do to help the next person?
Yeah, 100%. So what is the kind of current offer that you're running right now and cultivating and going through?
Yeah, right now I've found that in order for clients to have like that real partnership connection in like a full build out type offer, which is like my big thing,
Mm-hmm.
we have to develop more of like an entry like here, let's get some results for a month first, then explore that. So I've dialed in like my kind of entry level it's not real entry, but it's like a taste
Yeah.
of like the full what we
It's
can
like a
do.
trust building aspect of
Yeah.
it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's that's funny that you mentioned that because, I know the program that we both went through to teach us everything that we effectively
Mm-hmm.
know now. And you know what's really funny? I'm just noticing this. The your background, your shelving unit that you have, that's the exact one that I have right behind me. So kudos to you.
Yeah,
Great minds
heck
think
yeah.
alike there. I just took a notice to that. And I have $100 million leads also right
That's
there.
what's
So that's
up.
awesome. That's
Hey, gotta
awesome.
love Amazon,
And
man.
yeah, I know,
Gotta
right?
love
I love it.
Amazon.
My mom got it for me for Christmas. She was like, "What do I get you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm redesigning my office. Like, give me a new shelving unit." So, anyway,
Nice. Love
anyway,
it. Love it.
the program that we came through that kind of taught us what we know, Master Filmmaker, right? Shout out to Eric and the
Mm-hmm.
team over there. Myself, I also still coach over there, but
Mm-hmm.
they taught us the whole like 3 6 12 package offer, right? But something
Mm-hmm.
that I've been exploring in like my coaching offer and even a content offer is doing much more of either a 90 or 120 day kind of
Mm.
entry level offer, right? I think with like the hard part about kind of what you mentioned, like a 30-day offer, is depending on what the goal is, it sometimes can be hard to manage that, right? Especially
Yep.
if like ads are a part of it, right?
Go for
Because you have
sure.
to have
For
that build
sure.
up, you have to have that testing, you have to have all of that. Now, organic, if they have a national offer or something that's like a digital product or something like that, where you can
Yep.
really lean on like, okay, let's just bang out content, right? That's a little bit different. You
Ex-
can probably get more tangible results faster that way, right? I would assume
yeah.
that's probably something along the lines of what
That's
you're doing.
yeah. The lowest thing that I have for any sort of like when we're starting to do ad stuff is 100 days.
Yeah,
That's the
100.
lowest
Yeah,
I have. But like I kind of come from like the store model is what I've switched. Like you go into Walmart, you might have the person go buy the $2,000 big screen TV in the back, that person still might buy the stick of gum at the cash register.
mm,
So like there what can I have that services as many people, and you're going to have some people that are only going to buy the stick of gum, and that's fine,
sure.
whatever.
Yeah,
And then you can have someone who may buy the stick of gum, but then they might continue walking through the store, and then they might get this other thing, and then they'll eventually get to the TV in the back that
right,
is, you know what
right.
I mean? So like that's kind of where I approach that from, because you can't, it's just enough to be like, oh, we did this for a month. Like he clearly knows what he's doing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's ramp this up
Yeah,
to three
yeah.
months
It's a
kind of
way. It's a
deal.
way to get him in. Because now I saw a piece of content on this the other day. He was talking about trust now on the internet is at an all-time low. Like
Mm,
nobody believes anybody. Like social
yep.
proof, if you don't have any, like it's really hard to to really get clients utilizing an online space, right? Well, I
Hmm.
guess what would you say, since we're talking about offers? Most videographers out there that maybe are trying to have an actual legitimate business, or they're just trying to get
Yep.
their business off the ground. They and I think most business owners go through this fallacy too. They think that their service is their offer, right? What would you say to like a freelancer or somebody that's just getting their video business off the ground, that like the importance of why you need an offer?
Yeah. Oh man, that I have so many conversations about that exact thing too. Like it's not the service, it's how you can, the results that you can give, the transformation that you can provide, whatever the client is. If we're talking a video business owner who's getting their business off the ground, like what market, like how are you helping that business transform, whether it's through their mindset, save time, whatever that is. And so packaging something in a way that really highlights that transformation or those results is so key. It's not just like, hey, I produce videos for you. Like
Right.
that's not gonna,
What are
no,
some of the
you can produce videos on your phone. Like, so
Yeah,
like that's,
yeah, right.
you know,
Right. So what are some of the like thing like not I don't want to say necessarily results, but like what are some of the things that that you've helped business owners
mhm.
with the offer that you have? Like what are some of the key
Yeah.
takeaways that they get out of using your offer?
Yeah, I mean, well, one of our clients just recently, I have a construction client, and they just closed a $230,000 deal with just two videos, two testimonial videos that we put together for them.
Wow.
They had a client who was dragging their feet for 9 months doing this whole like back and forth dance thing, and they were almost just going to be like, but then they asked if like, do you have any like reviews or any of this stuff, and so we had just shot some testimonials for them. They sent them over, the client came in within 12 hours, signed the deal, and you know what I mean, like
Don't you
it's
love to hear those?
so, oh my God, it
I
was
did
amazing.
I still haven't released this testimonial just cuz I just haven't done it yet, but I did a pro bono piece of work for a nonprofit that does work with my church. And
Hmm.
I did like a brand film for them.
Yep.
They showed this brand film at a gala where they take donations for the nonprofit, and they raised after like everything that was taken out to make sure the gala happened and everything, it was around $50,000 that they raised. And
That's
and
amazing.
they were telling me it was one of the most impactful things that had ever that had ever happened for them. And they were very adamant that it was my video that helped them put their donors in an emotional state enough for them to actually donate to the cause.
100. Yeah, I love that. 100%. And like, especially on something like that, like I've always said, like, when you can create some content and like you see the client like cry or like they're getting teared up wherever, it's like, okay,
Yep.
we did a good job
Yep.
here. You know what I
No,
mean?
100%. So I guess a little bit of a transitional question here.
Yeah.
What because you've been growing your video business. I mean, what, it's been about 4 or 5 years now, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. About like
So
4 years.
yeah. So what are some of the like the earliest bottlenecks that you see once somebody starts
Yeah.
to have some success, maybe, or maybe a bottleneck that prevents them from getting off the ground? What are some of those early bottlenecks that maybe you had to overcome, or that
Yep.
are just inevitable for somebody to go through?
Most definitely. I was funny you mentioned this. I was literally just having a conversation like earlier this morning with someone. We were talking about bottlenecks in
Mm-hmm.
general, and like where I'm at with my bottlenecks is completely different than what I
Sure.
was a couple years ago. And that's what it's all about. Is like you get to that next bottleneck, and then how do you alleviate it? It alleviates the pressure, and then you move forward to the next one.
Yeah.
And my biggest one when I first started out was like I was doing everything myself, trying to keep up with everything. I needed to find a team member that took the editing off my plate. That was the biggest game changer in my business, is when I brought on a team member that took the editing. And I'm not talking just like outsourcing to like, people. Like I brought them on as a team member.
Mm.
Like we have meetings, like I
Mm-hmm.
train them, like
Mm-hmm.
it is a full-time employee of my business,
Yeah.
and that just opened so much doors for me to save time to then focus on other things. Which, I mean, now the bottlenecks that I run into are the client acquisition side, where
Sure.
like messaging with people and stuff like that. And so
Yeah.
I'm actually working on that side right now.
Got to get you a
So
setter,
it's
bro.
yeah, I have one. Well, that's the thing. I've got one, and now I am getting more clients, and so I have one that's not
Yeah.
performing at the best of their
You gotta
abilities. So I
work it
have
out, and you go through
to.
things, and that is
Yep.
what it is. But no, yeah, I couldn't agree more. The editing standpoint was like, I've had an editor for a little over a year now, and like I
Hmm.
just couldn't imagine the amount of content that I'm able to produce for myself, and let alone my clients. Right?
Right.
It's just saved me so much. Like I would not be any I would not be in any shape that I am today, without them becoming a part of my team as well. Like, obviously,
Totally.
I mean, they're a contractor. It's not like they're an in-house person, but
Right.
like you said, we
Right.
have meetings every Thursday.
Yep.
Like,
Hmm.
I've trained him up on how to like do my ads the way that I like them, and do the particular
Hmm.
content for my clients the way that they like their brand and their message and their stuff to be done, right?
Hmm.
He does
Hmm.
have a little bit of creative control here and there. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like to tell him how to do certain things, because
Right.
while I know how to edit and while I know how to do that, he's better at certain aspects of certain things than I am.
It,
So I
exactly.
don't nitpick and do certain things where I know that, because again, I come just like you come from being an editor as well for yourself. So it's like,
Hmm.
how it is when
Hmm.
it's like you could nitpick things all day long, and
Oh,
like
totally.
it's
It's
the
like
80% done is better than 100. It's the whole 80/20
right.
rule. So
And like giving them a framework to like work within and have that freedom within, like, hey, this is, as long as we're getting these
yeah.
things done, like, do your thing,
Dude,
you
my
know?
my editor, he tells me every Thursday, he's like, I'm just so grateful for you. I was about to quit doing editing before I met you.
Yeah.
And dude, now he's even in the process of like running his own ads to find more editors to build
I
his
love
whole
that.
thing. And
I
it's like,
love
I was
that.
like, dude, like, let's go. That's the whole journey.
That's
That's the whole
so
process. So, but
so cool. I think it brings up a good point too that I just wanted to touch on,
yeah.
is that like, as you mentioned, that how it freed up time into you to do content for
Mm-hmm.
your business. And like, as a video business owner, I think there's a misconception that gets lost along the way, is that they're like, oh, we're doing videos and stuff for our clients, that we don't need to do them as much for ourselves. I think that is a complete
I'm lit.
fallacy, because
I'm I'm literally writing a piece of short form content that's excuse me, called "Practice What You Preach."
yeah,
Like, if you're
it's
not doing it for
so
yourself, how are you going to expect somebody else to buy it from you?
Exactly. It's so important that you're doing it for yourself. And then it allows you to like test the different things. Like
Yeah.
we were talking offers before, like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to do this on myself and then
You're
I
your
can
own best
sell
case
it.
study at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Like,
It,
I mean, I don't know if you've ever had this problem, but I've definitely had the problem of like even giving away work for free, right?
mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
people know that it's not necessarily free because there's time that goes into it, there's effort that
Yep.
goes into it, and they're not sure if it's even something that they want to do or whatever, right? But you have all the affordability to be your own case study. And if you're going to have
100%.
an offer and it's related to content, there's no reason that you as a video business owner shouldn't be putting yourself through that same offer.
Exactly.
No
Yeah.
reason. It's yeah, it's a universal thing that I just think is again, if you expect somebody to want to do it, or
Right.
if you want them to do it, you need to be willing to go through that sludge as well, right?
100%. And I think having the editor on board really
Allows you
for
to,
me
yeah.
allowed me to do
Mhm.
that way more because I
Mhm.
just didn't have time before. And
Yep.
then it was like, okay, so now they can at least do my content. Now I'm putting stuff out.
Yep.
That allowed me then to get clients because like I was doing it and
Yep.
is
Like for
game
me,
on
I
from
know the
there.
last 2 years or so, like I've been super heavy in just doing short form, right? And
Mm-hmm.
just making
Mm-hmm.
it a point to, like, every month I need to batch record short form content so I have
Mm-hmm.
posts to do. This year, I made it a priority to continue to do that, but to also do long form content as well. Like try and do
Yeah.
much more of that, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to do lives and stuff here where I can. I'm still trying to figure that out and how that really works into my day because I'm trying not to just turn it on and just talk. I'm trying to
Right.
come to the table with some things. So the way that
Yep.
I think I'm going to do it is I'm going to make the YouTube videos and then just
Mm-hmm.
repurpose those topics into lives at a later time,
Mm,
right?
that's
So I
cool.
don't have
That's
to like
cool.
always because I learned this at a collective that I went to last September, and there was a I can't remember who it was. There's a guy that he was really heavy into YouTube. And he built the back off of what he does now off of YouTube, and he was saying that his YouTube time, like the growth and the success of his YouTube changed once he realized that he didn't have to reinvent the wheel when it came to topics and stuff every time. He's like, once I figured out the four like core things that I knew I wanted to, or that my audience wanted to hear me talk about, I just
Right.
figured out how do I now make more of those. Right.
Right.
So that's also something that I'm kind of currently going through. It's where it's like, okay, what are my like core
I
4 to 6
dig
things that I just repackage and repurpose all the time
that.
because that's what it is that I practice. That's what I preach. That's what I
Right.
believe in. And I think I've pretty much gotten it down. Now it's just a matter like the first month of January, crushed it. I've already released my 2 video. I'm trying to do 4 a month, so
Yep.
once a week,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And then I'll build up from there, right? But I'm literally
I
this
dig
morning
that.
was just doing more planning for my next round. My editor's about to send me the last
Yep.
two for the month of January, and I'm on pace right now. So
I dig
you know,
it. I dig it.
it's something that I told myself I wanted to do, and I'm gonna fight like hell to make sure that it happens. But um, I guess something else because we all kind of figure this out too while we're building a
Right.
business is for videographers out there that are trying to build this business. What's a suggestion on the way that you would go about finding clients, whether you're first starting out, whether you have capital, whatever it might be? What
Mm-hmm.
do you think the most effective way to find clients in 2025 is going to be?
That's a great question. There's so for me personally, and I think this works great for someone who's just starting out. I do a lot with organic right now, where it's like it's all about just building relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
like that comes from like sending friend requests to people that you want to be clients and then just striking up a conversation with them,
Yeah.
uh, finding out about them, and then you can create an offer and send it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I've been able to generate a lot of clients and then using the content to build that engagement to then reach out to those people.
Hmm.
I'm in the process of revamping my ads, which allows you to then take that and
Light it on
really
fire.
scale it up to, yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh,
No,
because I
that.
was doing a lot of ads before, but I had an ad account shut down, and like I've just been
Do you
playing
think the do you
catch
think
up.
the reason for like the on off also with the ads is due to the offer switch a little bit?
There was definitely an offer change like around this time too. So
Sure.
like, and then I've been building out some things. So I didn't like I was just like, I'm getting clients, like I'm just gonna focus on this. But like now I'm pretty set in what I've got. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we're ready to turn the ads back on. Let's
Nice.
turn this thing back up.
Nice, dude. Um, so I guess one of the questions that I had here for you was, how do you think most videographers in 2025 can really help others through their work? Like what kind of
Mm,
things can videographers do to
oh
again,
my
whatever
gosh.
niche or whatever whoever they decide to work with, how can that art of making videos, how can that help
Mm-hmm.
somebody else out there?
Oh my, the, right now, and this ties so much back into what we were talking before of like your services isn't your offer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the transformation. And so like for the most part, all businesses need some sort of social media content, even if it's like 1 to 2 posts a week for like monthly, like,
Mm-hmm.
once a week, even something that's going out on social media to just build that awareness. And then they need some form of longer form video, whether it's like a brand story or a testimonial to nurture the people who are
Yeah.
viewing the short form.
Yeah.
And so if you can create something that is within that, like you can help people save time, you can help people grow revenue, you can, it's that transformation on whatever the goals of said client are that you can fit in what you do
Right.
into that.
Right. No, I couldn't agree more. Uh, what do you think is some of the main reasons why, video creatives inevitably actually kind of fail at building
Mm,
what they actually want out of
yeah.
a content business or a video business or whatever? Why do you think they either can't get it off the ground, or why do you think they fail to keep it going?
That's a great question. I think there's a big mindset in it, kind of ties to that question that you were just talking about as like, what is it that you can help with?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people think that it is that kind of that art. It's a creative business, but like you got to do so much more. Like the creative piece is just a tiny piece of what you're doing as a video
Right.
business
Yeah.
owner. And so like finding ways to make that fun and like still like get creative within the business side of it, which is why I love doing offers, because like you can get creative with it. Like if you're bundling something or like, adding bonuses or like naming it or something, you get to have a little bit of creativity in that side of it that you then get to go do and do the content piece to it. So I think that's one of the biggest things is that not thinking too much in the business side and like, you know,
Yeah.
figuring out what your offer is and whatnot.
Yeah. You just mentioned, kind of like naming your offer. What's the current name of your offer mechanism? Like, what are you calling your stuff right now?
Yeah. Mine is the content cash flow maximizer. That's what I
Nice.
got going on.
Nice. Mine is
Yeah.
the simple social sequence is what
Nice.
mine
I
is. So
like
I
it.
love the alliteration. And I got some good
Yeah.
feedback from one of my clients who came into my coaching offer. He was like, dude, when I heard that, I was like, I need it. Like, I need to know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like,
That's what's up.
great, awesome. No,
That's what's
I
up.
you said naming, so I always like to do fun naming
Yeah.
conventions because I think a lot of people don't get very creative in that realm. They kind of just,
No,
do
I
the middle
totally
of the mall
agree.
kind of thing, and it's like, okay, let's make that better, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's how you can grab attention and like we as video business owners, we can take inspiration even from some of these brick and mortar businesses and stuff. Like
Yeah.
we've got the things that we offer, like think of like your favorite breakfast restaurant sometime. Like you go in and they've got this special that's like the Baconator Plus, and all it is bacon,
Yeah.
eggs, and pancakes. And then the next week it's like the pancake stack and
Yeah.
bonus, and it's just bacon, eggs, and pancakes.
Yep.
You know
It's a
what I mean? So
repackage of
like,
the thing that's
ex
already working.
exactly.
Yeah. No, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Um, I kind of have a wrap up question just to kind of
Yeah.
overall tie everything together for everybody. But what are some of the things that you attribute your biggest successes to in growing the business that you've grown thus far in the last few years?
Most definitely. I think it's the biggest thing is finding the community of people and the people who've done it before you, and just modeling that and like going in their footsteps, finding some sort of mentor or someone who can help you along the way, and surrounding yourself with like-minded people that are going to just continue to boost you up. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
I know that's how we've connected, and like I 100% I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for like the different stages of communities and mentors that I've
Yeah.
had along the way. I can literally pinpoint each shift in the growth of
No,
my
100,
business because of
100%.
it.
I'll ask you one other question. This is kind of just because it kind of goes with what you said.
Yeah.
But what do you think has been the toughest part um, because like you get into a community, right?
Hmm.
And then you find out exactly what it takes to make certain things happen, right? What
Yeah.
has been that like one thing where you're like, damn, like I didn't know that
Yeah.
this part was going to be that hard.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I mean, I guess it's just my personality. I'm a very like to-do list action taker. So
Mm-hmm.
like if someone gives me a to-do list, like I bust things out. That's why I do really well in like all the communities that I've been in, because like they're basically providing me with the to-do list. And I'm not the best at coming up with the to-do list, but
Gotcha.
I can bust it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And so that's tends to be one of the hard areas for me. But like I did join one program last year that like it was I'm in the frame of not saying mistakes because it's not in the best positive mindset, but it was a learning experience that definitely put me back a little bit, that I've been kind of just like,
I had one of
you know,
those.
okay, yeah. And so it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So now I've been more mindful of like what to look out for and
Yeah.
things like that. And
Yeah, I had the
uh
one in the form of a Facebook ads course that was just it was
yep,
the biggest commitment that I ever made financially, and I thought it was going to
yep,
be the right thing for me, and it just
same,
turned out to be a pile of fluff, and
yep,
it was just not what I wanted it to be. But no, I mean,
same here.
I think everybody out there has to understand, that there's there's no certainty in anything that we
No,
do, right? When we talk
no,
about communities, we talk about coaching programs, we talk about whatever it is,
yep.
right? It's about what the work you put in and what you get out of that
100%.
work. I think is what
100%.
makes you have either a positive or negative time with it,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
no,
And
I'm
there's definitely that piece that like and I'm glad that I learned what I did from that thing now,
yeah,
because I'd rather it have been that level than me like having $1 million business, making a decision and it being like a bigger thing,
yeah,
and so like now I can see more like who the right people are. And so
100%,
like when you like it's for example, if like someone's coming into your coaching program, like you clearly know what you're doing, and it's like leading them the way. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So like having that vision of the proof, like we talked about earlier, that they're doing the thing, and it's not just them trying to sell to get you in, which is
yeah,
what I fell for when I did that. I was like, okay, the
yeah,
results seemed really amazing when they were selling it to me on the call, and I'm like,
yep,
okay, let's go. And,
yeah.
and get in there, and I do everything that they said, and we didn't get nearly as far as what was
No,
promised.
totally
So
100%. I had this one guy reach out to me and tell me that like I was telling him that like I'm trying to build this coaching program, but I'm also still actively working and doing content for clients. And he was
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm,
and he was basically trying to steer me in the direction of like pick one. And I'm like, while I do understand what you mean by that,
mm-hmm.
there is, and I know this because somebody has actually told this to me, that they appreciate knowing that their coach or somebody they're looking into as giving coaching advice or getting coaching advice from, they really appreciate that that person is still doing the thing, right?
Right.
Like not they're just not
Exactly.
coaching on it anymore. And yeah, one
Hmm.
day I eventually want to work myself out of that
Of
potentially, right?
course.
But it's
Yeah.
not where I'm at right now. And if the people that are being attracted to me are the ones that are telling me, "Hey, yeah, you're still doing it. I want to learn from you," simply due to that fact.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
going to turn that switch off just because some other guy was like, "Hey, it's going to be a time suck
Ex-
for you," and I'm like, "Yeah, but if I'm doing fine and my life is great, then what is it to you?"
exactly.
So,
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of that out there right now when you talked about
because they're
the
just trying to sell you
trust
into
on the
something.
internet.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it ties into this entire conversation that we've just been having today of like why videos are important and why you got to do it for yourself,
100%.
and create the transformation for you and your clients.
Dude, I love it. Well, that brings us to the end of this one, Graham. I appreciate you coming on these.
We,
We'll do more of these often
yeah,
for
most
sure.
definitely.
But
Appreciate you having me.
any last words that you have for anybody out there?
I would just say find your people. You can't fail if you don't give up. So like, yeah, I've had setbacks, but like I just keep going. You
Yep.
know what I mean? You can't fail if you don't give up. So just keep doing it.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate it, Graham. If you need me, you know where to find me. And if
Hmm.
anybody out there got all the
Likewise.
way through this, if you are a business owner out there, and I think you're doing a national offer, right? So
Hmm.
if you're a business
Hmm.
owner out there in the world and you need some help with
Hmm.
content, you can find Graham. I'll put some description links in this video here where you can find it. If you're a video business owner out there and you are looking to grow your services, connect with me. Also, too, you can find my Instagram
Yeah,
in the bottom. You can DM me the word grow. We'll chat one to one on what that might look like for you.
definitely. If you're a video business owner, definitely hook up with Evan. He's definitely helped me out on multiple things.
I
So
appreciate
like,
that.
definitely check that out.
I appreciate it, man. Well, it's been a
Yeah.
pleasure, and we'll do this again soon. Yeah.